The river was ready to take her, until one old man made a choice that would change both their lives forever. Cold water crashed against stone as the old cowboy stood waist-deep in the roaring current, his boots barely holding to the slippery riverbed. His gray beard dripped with water, and his tired eyes locked onto the figure struggling before him. A tall, fierce Apache warrior woman, wounded yet unbroken, fighting the river with every ounce of strength she had left. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her story. All he knew was that if he hesitated even 1 second, the river would claim her. So he reached out. Their hands met. Her grip was strong despite the exhaustion, and with a grunt of effort, the cowboy planted his feet and pulled. Water splashed high into the golden light of sunset as he dragged her closer, step by painful step, until at last she stumbled onto steadier ground beside him. For a moment, they just stood there breathing hard, the forest around them silent except for the rushing river. She looked at him, eyes sharp, proud, but filled with something new, gratitude. The cowboy nodded slowly, tipping his wide-brim hat. "River's no place to die," he muttered. They made their way to the bank, where pine trees towered over rocky ground glowing in warm sunlight. Only then did he see her clearly. Braided black hair, tribal jewelry resting against her chest, leather armor worn from battle. She was a warrior, no doubt, and far from home. Through broken words and gestures, he learned she had been ambushed while crossing the mountains, separated from her people and injured. The river had nearly finished what her enemies started, but fate had other plans. He built a small fire as dusk fell, sharing his last piece of bread and dried meat. She accepted, still watching him carefully, yet no longer as an enemy. In that firelight, two worlds that should never have met sat side by side, an aging frontier cowboy and a proud Apache warrior. That night, wolves howled in the distance, and the mountains stood like silent witnesses. By morning, her strength had returned. She stood tall once more, every inch the warrior he had seen in the river. She pressed a hand to her heart, then to his, a gesture he understood without words. Before leaving, she turned back one last time. In her eyes, he saw not just thanks, but respect. He watched her disappear into the forest, knowing he would likely never see her again. But as he turned back toward the river, the old cowboy felt something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose, because sometimes all it takes is one hand reached out in the storm to remind a man that his story isn't over yet.